You are now listening to the Project Kuwait. Where we stop at nothing to bring you the right facts on health, fitness, and psychology. Featuring some of the world's most experienced professionals. So you can learn, live, and live. With your hosts, Meg, Dr. D, and Mehdi.
Men, at least in this part of the world, they don't understand developmentally how skin to skin or how their relationship with their kids is really going to impact their development. Men still here think that their development and the way their kids grow up has a lot to do with the mom. They're still not understanding that kids depend a lot on fathers. Fathers, not just financial. And I think they need to really be educated.
Jeff Cavaliere, Athlete X, Mind Pump, all these guys have built up programs over years with years and years and years of experience.
Communication is way more impactful than your knowledge.
So on that note, everybody, please don't forget to leave us a rating and review on iTunes. All this and more in today's episode. In this episode of The Project, this is take 2 because I screwed up on the first one. Meg's sitting in Idaho with big potatoes. Dr. D's in J-Town. And I'm living it up in quarantine, Coronaville. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Project Musical Edition. Maddie is going to break out in song every time he speaks. Are you up for that challenge?
Give me some whipped cream and I'll spread it on. And I guarantee you, I'll blow your minds away and then I'll be gone.
Can I psychologically evaluate that one? Wow.
Yes. We might need to unpack that one.
I'm a tough nut to crack.
That's loaded.
I'm a tough nut to crack. You might find a hard shell laying right on my back.
Oh, hard shell.
I don't even know what to say.
What would Freud say about that?
But I do appreciate the potato shout out.
Go Idaho.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Creative expression. That's what this quarantine is bringing out for Maddie.
Dude, I learned how to sing from my buddy Pat, all right? My buddy Pat used to do this shit all the time, and then it just picked up through our group. We all started doing it. So you give me a word, I could do it. It's easy,
right.
But yeah. So back to what we were talking about, Dr. D, like just so everybody knows, we recorded a half an hour and then my memory card was full. So we're re-recording right now.
Take 2.
We're recreating all of it. Welcome.
Maddie was just running us through his man skills that he thinks he has.
I do have, all right? I do have. Hey, just said I wasn't a handyman today. It was a kick to the nuts, but I still have some left, all right? So we'll go from there.
But you still fixed DJ's bike. That's the most important, is you fixed what you needed to fix. That's it.
100%. Taught him how to ride a little bit, got over his fears. Hey, I said, if anyone makes fun of you, I'll punch them in the face. That's a little bit of a recap from what we talked about.
Some great life lessons in there.
I know, right?
Really.
Well, I'm going to be trying out my handyman skills later. I ordered myself a bidet and it finally arrived. Just in time. I'm on my last roll of toilet paper.
Not paying $16 for a friggin' is it true? Toilet paper's like $16?
I can't even find it in the stores. So I don't even know how much it is. I don't even go down that aisle because it's empty.
Wow.
So
did you ever figure out what's up with this toilet paper? Is this like some Freudian anal repression? Or
you leave it to the psychologist to use the word anal and repression in the same sentence.
But it is.
Are these
So
people anal retentive? Seriously. I never understood. People ask me all the time. I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to think about what the hell. They don't
For me,
buy...
I think it goes back to when your sense of security is kind of rattled and you feel at risk. Like a lot of people, if you talk to them right now, the foods that they're reaching out to and the snacks that they want, a lot of them are things that brought them comfort when they were a child or childhood favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I feel like there's something about just your total sense of security, and I don't know where
diapers?
the ass wiping comes into that. Yeah, if it's this regression of just I need to. I don't know. I don't understand that at all. I can understand it from the hoarding of food and comfort eating and that kind of stuff, but the toilet paper one It's just really, really funny.
But I guess when they were kids, they ate all this comfort food and then they had to poop in their diapers.
Yeah,
Here.
Maybe. But seriously,
Dr. D with you, it's either verbal diarrhea or talking about poop. So, and you know Meg's the poop expert, right? You know Meg is like the guy. She taught me the word poophoria.
It's a real thing.
I agree. Everyone feels good after they take a good crap. Like that's normal. Like, that is normal. I have no problem saying that on air because people are so worried about using that word and they think it's like bad, but dude, we all do it. Like if you tell me you don't take
dogs, after they take a dump and they like sprint around the yard, it's like a burst of energy. Like it makes you feel so good. Like I relate to that. Like they do that and I'm like, yeah, man. Feels good.
But there is poop from poop. There is poop that you really do and you feel emptied out and you feel cleansed. Yeah. And there are other times you don't feel as good. So maybe during these times where people really think they're going to take a good dump. I don't know.
You know what? Let's dive down the psychology hole a little bit and not, nothing about poop, but but the whole cleansing thing, that's a good point. Yeah. Like that's a very good point. When we're all pent up and we're blocked up or whatever, we do want to be cleansed. And I guess in a time like this, when everyone's reaching for hand sanitizer, you want to be as clean as possible. So, I mean, it's got to have something.
But everyone can go take a shower, go wash your butt. I mean, I will not pay $12 for a toilet paper. Take a damn shower, for God's sake. But also, I was thinking about it, like at this time, if you're not working out and eating right, you're probably eating a lot of carbs, a lot of junk, which kind of gives you constipation anyway. So who's going to be using these toilet papers?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Stress eating with the high sugar.
Exactly. They are very stressed and they're eating all the time. I'm sure a lot of people are having, constipation problems. They're anxious. The irritable bowel movement starts up now. Your colon is not acting the way it is. So I don't know. I mean, but maybe you're right. It's probably true. It takes them back to that sense of security, and maybe poop is a sense of security.
Well, I think it's just, like a release of, I don't know. I just feel like, there's something weird going on there with the hoarding of that. I don't know what it is about people's security that makes them think toilet paper.
Because I know people that didn't. I knew, there are people that didn't go to buy garnishes or food or things that they really need for safety or even survival. They were more interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were more interested in toilet paper. It's not like when I'm hungry, I'm going to eat the toilet paper.
But isn't that conformity and feeding to the masses? Like if you see someone filling up their cart with a shitload of toilet paper, like, oh my God, screw the batteries. Let's get toilet paper.
You know what it reminds me of, Maddie, is when we went on that whale watching tour, and it's that mob mentality of like the one person that spots a whale on the other side of the boat and runs to the other side, and then everybody runs there, and 2 seconds later, a whale pops on the other side of the boat. And it's like, guys, just stay in your place. They're all around us. You're going to see one. But it's just that mob mentality of like,
Dr. D,
falling into the trap.
Have you ever seen a whale?
Yeah, I mean,
like live?
I've seen,
like on a boat.
Yeah, a long time ago. I was in Florida, was I? Yeah, and we took a boat ride, and we saw. And then one time I was in a whale show, maybe. Yeah, but it's been a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, I thought the colors were cool. Meg was there for that. Like the colors when the whale's swimming by, it's like this weird green. That was amazing. Like screw the whole 4-hour like ride out to the middle of the ocean. Like the 10 minutes we saw those damn whales come by the boat, that was worth it for me. Like that paid off.
Yeah, it's like their fin.
Nice.
It makes this glowing like green color under. It's like neon. It was insane.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, wow. But that's nice. But you're right. I think it's more conformity and the mob mentality. If they see everyone on TV trying to go and buy as many toilet paper, I guess then you feel like, oh, I better go and get some toilet paper. They don't know why, but they want to get some.
Right.
And now the country is out of toilet paper, I hear. So now they have to use cloth.
Well,
bidet.
Meg's hooked up. She's got a bidet.
Like a bidet.
I ordered it a month ago too, and it just kept getting delayed. And every time I would look for my notifications on the tracking, and it kept getting delayed. And I was like, So I'm finally down to my last roll, and it showed up.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, oh, that was close.
Does it take you back to Kuwait times?
It does. That's like in my top 5 of things I miss about the Middle East is the bum guns, the toilet sprays. I love those.
I like that one, the bum guns.
I loved cleaning my bathroom with them. But the bidet I got is one that goes like on the toilet seat or like under the toilet seat. So that's what I have here. I didn't get the sprayer because I don't have like a full on tile bathroom with like a drain in the floor. So, but yeah, no, the bum guns were freaking awesome.
I love it. The intro to this episode. All right, everybody, get ready for bum guns.
Bum guns. So funny.
Speaking of bum guns and intros, Dr. D, let's start with you. You've had a couple of interesting interviews over the last couple of weeks and something that people can look forward to in the next few episodes that are going to drop on Tuesdays with Psyched with Dr. D and on the project. So who's your favorite? Well, no, we can't say favorite. People might get pissed off.
Right away, my face was like,
I know. I do that a lot. Sorry.
We've talked about some good topics, though. I mean, we've concentrated more on coronavirus. We had some shows that were not, but I kind of like I like them all, but I like some of the guests that we have, to be honest. The ones we've invited this time, not that we invited people who weren't nice, but this time we focused on the COVID-19, but we also focused on understanding it. So I don't know. I also liked Rashwan. What I liked about that interview was that at least it was the first interview where we talked to someone in the US and who's also a therapist and kind of like what kind of things he dealt with. So I feel like we've offered a lot of good topics.
Is it pretty,
actually.
Did you guys find a lot of similarities in, what he's kind of helping people struggle with their struggles here? Is it kind of the same fears and mentality that people are having, in different places? And because US and Kuwait are kind of handling things differently. So I'm just curious. I'm sure that'll come out in the episode.
I mean, the thing is, he was very interested in he was interested in psychotherapy in general, therapy in Kuwait. I think he was planning to come to a conference with the Middle East Psychological Conference, of course, in March, which was canceled. So he was looking forward. He's doing his doctorate. So he was looking forward to understanding culture. He's African American and he deals a lot with the African American issues. And what we found out is some of the issues that we have here, even how people's culture norms or even spiritual belief kind of matches some of the belief that African Americans have. And their healthy paranoia, what we call, where the idea of like being targeted. I mean, just 2 days ago, I was reading an article where Corona was targeting more African Americans. I mean, it wasn't really clear why. So the idea is that being minority and here, what does it feel like dealing with minority issues? So I thought it was very interesting. But then when we talked to him, we were earlier, I think it was like March it was in March.
It was the end. Yeah, it was the end. It was right when the lockdown here started, I think.
Yeah, so they hadn't really, they still had cafe shops and restaurants open, and they didn't have the lockdown that we had. So they were still at the beginning. So I'm sure now things have gotten more serious and he's probably struggling with a lot more of the anxiety, but the fear is the same thing. The unpredictability was the same thing. But to me, it's always interesting to see how people in different countries are dealing with, the psychological aspect. Today, I was talking about agoraphobia, and also the idea is that agoraphobia is it's like being afraid to be out,
socialize, isn't it?
Being afraid to be in crowded places, and it's an anxiety disorder that makes you have panic attack because you're worried about no escape. So you'd rather stay home, because the home is familiar and you know where everything is. So these people, they will not. I was thinking to myself, probably a lot of people, even the ones that were not diagnosed with anxiety, after this, they're probably going to have a hard time, adjusting to the society and going back to, the norm and not having panic attacks and fearing crowded places or worried about no exits. Where am I going to escape? And just that fear. I think a lot more people are going to have that. So, I like that. What else did we do?
It sounds like a really interesting one, yeah.
Rashwan was fun because Dr. D was jumping on the whole psychology thing, but he was an athlete too, which was awesome because he started something with the youth, African American youth, which was called Locker Talk or Locker Room Talk, something like that.
Yeah,
and
Locker Room Talk.
Locker Room Talk. And honestly, it was gold. That's someone I want to bring on this show on the sports part to talk about the sports mentality. And we had the episode with Adam Dehati, Adam Dehati, which was all about the mental side of, sports and whatever. So I thought it was really cool. I got to jam with him on the the mental side of sports. But for the most part, I was quiet in that episode. I kept my mouth shut.
But also, the other thing that was interesting is that he had actually, maybe I had read it or I don't remember, but he talked about him being bipolar. So he was an athlete, then he had an injury and then had a psychotic breakdown, which is part of bipolar 1. And so it was interesting to have him talk about that experience. And that's probably why he went into this field, to be able to help a lot more people in general with depression, but that he was a bipolar. I mean, he's always going to be bipolar, but the idea is that how he been able to use exercise and diet and psychotherapy in order for him to be able to
manage it. Yeah.
Manage it. Yeah. So it was nice. And then and Dr. Murad, we talked about, that one was more for Mahdi. It was an economic
yeah, I geeked out in
kind
that.
of talk.
I totally geeked out in that.
Yeah.
Meg, do you know I have an MBA, by the way? Have I ever talked about that? I don't think I've ever talked about that on the show.
I don't think you've ever mentioned. I mean, he's just
you've thrown that around in a
few.
few episodes.
Okay, come on. I don't boast about it, dude. I'm so against the educational system anyways.
Are you?
Look, at the end of the day, in all honesty, education in 5 or 10 years will be a thing of the past. I honestly think that...
I don't think education will be. I think the school model and what the necessity of, a college degree and things like that, depending on what you want to do. I think there's going to be a lot of shift, I think, in that. Yeah. I mean, if you want to be a doctor, you're going to need a degree. If you want to be a lawyer, you're going to need a degree. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of other industries and jobs out there that you don't necessarily have to have that piece of paper for.
I think more and more people are I think we've talked about this in one of our shows, but not this past one, but we talked about emotional intelligence. I think more and more companies, given the crisis that we have now, and given that the financial drop and the unemployment, I think there's going to be a push toward really finding people that are going to be able to work with less money. And if you hire a PhD, you're going to have to pay him a lot more money. But if you hire someone that a diploma, for example, or a certificate, you probably can hire them and pay them less. And I think a lot of companies may be looking for that. But the biggest shift is really they're looking for emotional intelligence. They don't want people that are awkward or sociopath or socially unable to work with other people. I think now there's a big push. So I'm sure that there are going to be companies out there. They'll take you for your experience, even if you don't have education, as long as you have emotional intelligence.
Yeah, this one came up. I don't know if this is in an episode with you, Maddie, but that exact thing came up of communication is way more impactful than your knowledge.
That's so true. That's true.
I was talking to somebody about kind of IT guys in general.
Yeah.
If you can find one that can also communicate and relate to people well, and not just so tech savvy and can't, relate that. I use that because it's such a drastic example. But
have you ever listened to Sex with Emily? Communication is lubrication.
She just posted that today. I was going to tag you in it, but I'm if anybody sees it, it might be weird that I'm tagging Maddie in this, but it was just that because that's what you always say.
Tag Hay in it too. But dude, real quick, and I'll ask Rashwan. He wrote a book too called Injured Reserve: A Black Man's Playbook.
Oh, okay.
I haven't started reading it, but I am. He sent us an email, by the way, Dr. D. So I highly advise anyone who wants to read up before they listen to the podcast. It will give you a better idea. I mean, that's probably going to air next week, so it will give you a better idea of this guy's background. And then, but yeah, sorry, didn't mean to cut that off. But yeah, communication is lubrication, Meg, and you've been communicating. Dr. D, Meg had an episode where she got to bitch about relationships in Kuwait, and apparently it's really
Oh my God. Please, you should have invited me. The relationships in Kuwait. What relationship? I just work. I just decided I'm not interested in any of this because they're so awkward and weird. People don't know how to talk on the phone, and people are like, huh.
Yeah. It was for an Expats Abroad episode. I brought on 3 of my girlfriends that I lived with out in Kuwait. They all use an alias in the episode, by the way. So if anybody, I was going to throw this out there. No, it's not that bad. But if anybody can guess who the other 3 people are, then I was going to say they should get a free shirt or something. But we did. We talked about the dating apps. We talked about just a lot of cultural differences between our approach to dating and mixing genders and social functions and things like that, sliding into DMs, what messages actually make an impact.
Oh, wow.
We talked about a lot of that. And then we actually got into, I don't know if you know this, Maddie, I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but I used to have a food prep company out in Kuwait. And my target was military contract workers, was who I food prep for. I didn't want to food prep for any locals or I did it for coaches in the beginning. And then people started to get too picky about macros and things like that. And I was like, forget this. I'm not trying to not trying to be a nutritionist with this. I like cooking and I want to help people out. So military contract workers work 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts, plus their drive time to and from base. It's a pretty gnarly schedule. A lot of them on night shift as well. So but these guys are just simple and they just want good home cooked meals that are really easy to make. And so that was my target, but finding a way to connect with these guys. So majority of them are on Tinder. So I used my Tinder profile to promote and sell my food prep business.
Oh my God.
It was awesome. That was what allowed me to leave my job with Circuit Plus and stay out and then start my own coaching business with it. But so it was really funny to talk about some of that. I've got a load of screenshots just on how I was very upfront with them and was like, there's a 76% chance that I'm here to sell you food. But if you fall in that other 24%, I'll let you know and you can take me out on a date. It's very upfront about it. And that led into a couple of highlights and low moments in the expat dating world. But yeah, it was some good relationship advice in there too, I think, that came about. So that's a really fun episode.
I can't wait to hear that.
It's really weird because I was married for a long time. And then dating, it's perceived very differently here. Like in the US, you just go for a coffee, go for dinner, lunch, whatever. It's not like it has to be a long term you're just getting to know each other. Here's like you either get someone that already falls in love with you. I love you already in 1 week. Like, what the hell, Or the idea is like, and then, I don't know. I don't do apps because there are going to be a lot of my patients on there. So definitely I don't. Yeah. And I, giving like my lifestyle, but the idea is that my patients tell me all the time about these apps. And it doesn't seem like they're that healthy. Most of the time I hear people saying how weird people are on there and their objective is not like to get to know you. There's something else. So I feel like it's
pretty obvious. Most people are on there for, I will say, most locals, I will say it's pretty obvious that a lot are on there, like don't want to show their face. And you'll find a lot of pictures of celebrities on the male side on there. So like Zac Efron and Brad Pitt are apparently just hanging out in Kuwait. It's like which women out there don't know who these men are. So it's funny. You'll get that.
Serious gossip on someone we both know. Okay.
Yeah.
That I think his wife put him on Tinder to see what reaction, and I guess it blew out. It was insane. Like something weird was going on. I don't know why she put him on Tinder, but something weird was
I need to know more
there.
about this off air.
I'll tell you.
Or you'll just get or it'll be pictures of like fancy cars or, something really flashy and nice. Or you'll get a picture of like their fetish. Like you'll get pictures of like someone licking a foot.
That's interesting.
And, that is the majority of Kuwait Tinder and online dating.
Oh, jeez.
Okay,
forget it.
Before we get sued, let's change topics. Just so you know, listen to that episode. Meg is in the United States recording. Okay.
You'll know which episode it is because I think we should put that picture up for our post.
Someone licking a foot. Oh my God. That is awesome. That is...
You'll know which one to go to.
All right.
No, that was a good one. A favorite on Expats Abroad for sure. And then a couple others with some former coaches from Kuwait. One that's gone on to 8 other countries around Asia. Fittest man in Cambodia in 2017 for the CrossFit Games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was supposed to be on for that episode, but Meg apparently kicked me out. She didn't want me on that episode.
Well, Maddie didn't have a password and he had a wrong browser up.
So it was all Maddie's
We did not
fault.
have a good technology day that day either. Yeah.
No, it's all good. How was that though? Did it go good?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really good. The main theme there was just the risks and rewards of living abroad, but a lot of it just like getting comfortable with assessing risk and taking risk, which is going to be hard for a lot of people, I think, after this, or maybe they'll be really itching to try something new and take some more risks after being kind of cooped up for so long. Who knows what'll come out of this, but yeah, that was a really good one. And then the media guy behind a Hot Life app is another one.
I don't like a hot
Expat
life.
from-
I'm just going to come out and say it. All right. I just don't like hot
Not
life.
for everyone.
Hey, I don't like them because, look, in all honesty, like, dude, you're not doing anything new. Like Jeff Cavalier, Athlean X, Mind Pump, all these guys have built up programs over years with years and years and years of experience, right? Who are the trainers that are on there? And if you get an influencer that's on there, I mean, no offense, but I don't care about the influencer. I care about the person behind the scenes that's coaching the influencer. That's who I want to see. That's who I want to learn from.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents. That's why people hate me.
You're probably not an ideal person for them. I think the market that they tried to tap more into, I think it was geared more towards women in the Middle East. And yeah, they've got some pretty faces on there, but they do have some really qualified people as well. So I think it's just finding,
They
it's
do,
kind of like
yeah.
what we went back to and talked about in our last episode of like finding the right program.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of have to take some personal responsibility and know what your body is capable of and what you're looking for as well. But it was interesting to interview Matt and his side from the media side, his video and photo creation and all that kind of stuff that he does and like creating an app and just kind of like what goes into the back work of that. So, but to your point too, like, I don't know, is anybody doing anything new anymore? I think people just, it's you know what I mean? Like we're all just putting our creative twist on something that's already there. You might discover something, but I don't think anybody is like creating anything brand new.
Matt is really good with the camera. I'll give him that. Matt,
Yeah.
Dr. D, you want to hire someone, a cinematographer. Is that the right word? That's the right word. It took a while.
Is that
But
what I said?
if you want to hire a cinematographer, all right, Matt is damn good. Like he produces
Yeah.
some
Right.
high quality stuff.
Yeah.
Shit stuff.
Yeah,
Stuff's
he's great.
Stuff, yeah. But yeah, no. I don't know. I've been totally against the apps for a while now. I don't know why. Like I'm just kind of, like you said, it's the same shit over and over. Like I haven't seen anything new out of the apps. What I would like to see is a hologram of a virtual coach coming out. You know what I mean? Like you can feel that they're there with you. That would be some cool shit.
I would hate that. Have you seen the mirror?
No.
The
No.
mirror, it's like an actual mirror that you buy, but it's like touch screen and you pick programs there. So it's basically like what you would get for a workout on your phone or on your computer screen, but it's on a
okay.
mirror. And the coach is like, their image is in there and they're doing it, but like you're following along and you can see yourself in the mirror while you do it. I'm surprised that hasn't made its way out there yet. I think Peloton,
Yeah,
I don't
heard
know
of
if
Peloton.
I don't think it's the same creators, but I know they've collaborated.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Dr. D, what are you guys doing for coaching now? Is it on Zoom? Or are you guys doing teletherapy? Like, what are you guys doing for psychology? I mean, you still have clients, right?
Yeah, we're doing teletherapy actually. And actually today I just got a message from someone that is, no, I can't, but he is, I mean, he was thinking, he has an app, and then there's another person who's coming up. She has an app. So now we're going to start having these apps that are like for psychologists. There is an app already now, but they have all doctors, different doctors on it. So you'll have the psychiatrist, psychologist. So you could use that app to be able to talk. But for me, we've been doing, video cam or teletherapy with all the clients that need. But the idea is that it's just like how my students are feeling. Like this is something new. They're not, used to it. So half of the client will take up this kind of service because they don't really understand that it can be the same. I see you on video camera. I mean, of course, it's not the same. It wouldn't be the same if my trainer did virtual with me than to see me, right? And I understand. It's for me, I feel like I need that face-to-face. Actually, I love teaching face-to-face. I don't want to do online, but it's something.
I was just going to ask, if you think it'll change your business or
to be honest,
the business of psychology after.
And I think it has changed in the US. I mean, these apps like BetterHelp or something like that, you always see on Facebook. Actually, it does work. And in the US, because we have such a fast-paced kind of, lifestyle that we don't have time to go and drive, especially like I'm from Chicago. Depends on where usually when I go to visit, it's like sometimes I'm amazed at how long I have to sit in the car to get to certain activities. And then at the end of my vacation, I try to choose even a hairdresser. I'll go somewhere around the corner, even if I don't know them. Because I feel like, so in the US, it's practical because nobody wants to go and drive to see a therapist that they really like, but she's an hour away. So it makes more sense virtual. And we're all moving to a virtual world. So I'm doing teletherapy. I could do audio. I could do a video camp. And then soon we will have these apps coming up that I think hopefully if they market it well, what I was going to say about all these apps, they're all doing the same thing, but it's the marketing. It's how you market it to your consumer. So some of these apps are going to be very successful because the marketing genius behind the thing I mean, today I was talking to this person who's going to start it. I mean, I'm already registered with her and she's practicing, but I mean, we're practicing the app. And I said to her in 2 weeks or whatever, 1 month, I said, so how are you going to market this? Because, obviously as a psychologist, I'm signed up looking for her marketing so that way she can generate customers or clients that are interested. You got to do it the right way,
Yeah.
But yes, and I'm liking it. I think pretty soon I will not go to the office that much. I think, for example, couple therapy is a little bit hard and family.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm going to do all individual virtual because it's nice. And even for them, they're sitting in their bed, they're in their pajamas.
I was going to say they're probably more open to talk about things when they're relaxed and in an environment that maybe feels safe to them. So you might get a little bit more out of the session.
Actually, it's true. But then the other option, the other problem is that some of them are not living in that space where they've got confidentiality. I mean, especially let's say that a mom has to also help her kids with her schoolwork. She's helping cooking, she's doing whatever, and to find a space where it's private.
Right.
So sitting in her bedroom where the kids are not going to interrupt her. So I could see a disadvantage in that sense. But if you're living in a comfortable home and you can go outside and that's what I tell them, go outside then, talk to me from the garden. Some of them are like very paranoid. One of the guys like, I don't want my parents to hear what I'm saying. And he's right. I mean, even though it's your own room, the doors are closed, there's also a little, in my office, you don't have to worry about that. He doesn't have any family members in the waiting room.
Right. Yeah.
But I think we're all going to move virtual anyways. And people are going to have to get used to it and get accustomed to if you want help.
Yeah.
But I like it. I think I like being at home. I used to work so much outside. I hardly stayed home. Now I'm home all the time. I kind of like it. I like being in the office working out of my computer.
Well, to be honest with you.
Nice switch.
At first I was afraid. I was petrified. Thinking that I couldn't live without you by my side. So many nights thinking how you did me wrong. I grew strong and I learned how to get along. All right, so
I was going to see how far you could go on this.
Dude, I could actually sing the whole song, right? But I'm saving the listeners' ears on this one, okay?
Is that your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's my go-to karaoke song.
I love this song. Actually, I love it.
My new workout song is called Fuck You with an Anchor.
Oh my God. Aggressive. That's hilarious.
It's an Irish, hardcore mob song. And it's just, dude, I don't know why I like it. It's the stupidest song I've ever heard in my life. But I just jammed to it.
You should share that one on the Instagram so other people can enjoy that one.
We should create a playlist. The three of us should create a Spotify playlist for the project. And each of us get to pick 5 songs. Now, my songs will probably
We can call it
suck.
an emotional roller coaster playlist because I feel like we're all going to have some wildly different input.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're going to listen to me. It's getting fucked with an anchor. I mean, what else?
Yeah, look at my list. I Will Survive, Titanic.
Wait.
It will really make you depressed.
That's awesome.
Meg's into some good shit, though. Meg looked at me. We were driving, Dr. D. We went to the Cape, right? We're driving back to Boston. And I think she was like, well, what kind of music do you listen to? And then I put on Creedence Clearwater, I think.
Yeah.
She was like, all right, I can jam to this shit. She was like, I'm surprised. She's like, you were probably thinking this is the only half Kuwaiti I know who knows what old school shit is. Good stuff.
Yeah. Got some classic rock.
Oh, dude,
some
Allman Brothers, friggin', all old school. 80s. I used to like the Beastie Boys.
My dad never let me pick the radio station growing up, so I grew up with his music, and Maddie's turned on to it too, so that was helpful. Speaking of dads, though, Maddie, what's this rumor about the Dad Project?
Yeah, the Dad Project. Since we have expats abroad, that week gap, I'm going to throw the Dad Project in on that Thursday. I found a couple of my buddies from back home who are going to jump in. One of them is a really a hardcore hands-on dad, which it's no surprise to me. My buddy Dave, wicked nice guy, real smart dude. And he's wicked hands-on compared to other dads. It's hard to find a father. Let's be realistic. I mean, Dr. D, you can probably attest to this. It's tough to find a dad that will jump in and change diapers, wake up for the 3 a.m. wake-up call, take care of the kid. And our first episode is going to be basically us talking about how he had a conversation with one of our mutual friends about his son. And he said he never kissed his son in the whole 4 years that he's been in existence. And I was shocked. I'm like, I kiss DJ every day. I kiss him at least 5 times a day. I tell him I love him every 20, 30 minutes, especially during a time like this where we don't know if we're going to live or die. Like, let's be realistic. I mean, yeah, I'm going towards the other side here, but in all honesty, I want to cherish the moments that I have with my son. And the dude's rationale was, oh, I don't want my kid growing up soft or this or that. And it's like, but isn't he going to grow up with like other shit, like other baggage that he's going to be holding on to? So we're going to dive into things like that. Tips for dads to, how you can help out manage your time, because that's a big one for fathers, especially. A lot of fathers are seen as the breadwinners, so they work the long hours. They are accustomed to doing the 9 to 5, but then they go out and hang out with their friends, or they waste time in certain slots where they could allocate that to their family, their kids. And let's not forget about the wife too. She needs time, and that's something I want to talk about, is how date night is really crucial, especially in the first 4 years when your child's born. Me and Haya, I think we did it every Friday night. We would have our date night, and it fizzled out when DJ hit like 4.5, because, it just got easier for us to, if we wanted to go on a date, he could chill with the nanny or whatever. And yeah, I mean, the dad project's going to be fun. We're going to talk sports, definitely. I mean, like probably American sports, like baseball and shit. But I'm totally stoked that I just get to reconnect with some of my old friends. And, Dave, we grew up together. We've been friends for 34 years now. So it's going to be pretty cool that I get to record some podcasts with him and a couple of other guys, like the dude from Dad Bod. I reached out to him. That should be a good one to have on. And yeah. So
I think those are going to be great. Those are all topics that need to be talked about. I think it's just a little bit of challenging of, what's been grouped into gender roles as far as like mom and dad roles or, things like that. So I love that you're bringing attention to that. There's like this whole phenomenon of like stay-at-home dads that's kind of emerging over here, where I think in Europe it's been probably a little bit more prominent. But yeah, it catches a lot of shit from both sides. And it's kind of interesting. So I love that you're bringing that to light and helping kids grow up with that, like going back to emotional intelligence that we talked about earlier. I think that's something that's going to help.
And look, besides podcasting, being a dad is something that I absolutely fucking love. Like that is what I think I was born to do.
Podcasting first, then DJ. No.
But on the note,
I think that might be on the same line.
I know, right? No, I know. No, on the note of gender roles, Dr. D actually recorded a really good episode with Khalid Hadidi.
That's right.
Khalid Hadidi. That was episode 94 or 5. That was a while ago.
Haya was with us in that episode. It was very nice.
Yes.
We talked about gender
everybody.
roles.
Haya is a part of the project, but she didn't join the show of hosts because she's too cool for us all.
But to go back to this, I mean, right now I have a client who's she's Kuwaiti, but they're studying abroad, and she's married, kids, and her kids are very small, and her husband, he's the student, but still, she's bombarded by the idea that he is so traditional, that you're there, you don't work, so you take care of the kids, and the kids are like all below 2 years old. I mean, she's bombarded to take care of them. Of course, she's abroad, so there's not a lot of help at all. And she feels like she can't even take a shower without asking him to stay with them. And he doesn't want, because, when you're that small, they're making a lot of noise. He doesn't know how to take care of them. But I think we really need that education. I think we need to allow men to be okay with being fathers. I mean, they need to hear that. I think they grow up all their life thinking that I'm going to be the breadwinner and I'm going to be financial supporter, that's their way of giving love. And then everything else goes on the woman. And the woman needs a break. The woman needs to understand. She also has needs. She also wants to develop on her own, and she cannot. And men need to feel that it's okay. It's okay to change diapers. It's okay to be active.
They can do everything except breastfeeding.
Yes.
Hey, one of the first things I did was skin to skin. Like when DJ was born, one of the things I made sure to do a lot of was skin to skin. And if he would nap, I would take my shirt off and let him nap on me so that he would know. Like that connection was, because as a guy, you can't get that connection a mother gets with her child when she breastfeeds. There's just, it's on a different level. But for me, that was like, I want to get as close to that as possible. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Guys
and
need to be okay with it.
And do you know what I think it's the problem is that men, at least in this part of the world, they don't understand developmentally how skin to skin or how their relationship with their kids is really going to impact their development. Men still here think that their development and the way their kids grow up has a lot to do with the mom. They're still not understanding that kids depend a lot on fathers. Fathers, not just financial. And I think they need to really be educated. Maybe if they finally realize the importance of their relationship with their kids, how this kid is going to grow in the future and the way he's going to develop, maybe they will spend more time with their kids. They will be active. They could participate. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine in Kuwait, even if he is a stay-at-home dad, let's say he doesn't have a job, there are men like that here. They lie about where they work, but they still do not help out with the kids.
Yeah.
You know? They're not really they're stay-at-home dad because they don't have a job. Or they got one of these jobs where you just get
not because they're nurturing and, and growing. Oh. Well, I think, maybe the ones, you know what? The kids who didn't get enough skin to skin contact or enough love from dad. Maybe those are the ones hoarding toilet paper these days.
I know, right? On that,
maybe, right.
On that note, you guys have heard about, what was it? Butt guns, hoarding toilet paper.
Bum gun, Maddie. Bum gun.
Bum gun. My favorite song, which is Getting Effed with an Anchor. So on that note, everybody, please don't forget to leave us a rating and review on iTunes.
I will survive.
You can take your side hustle to Tinder.
Yes.
That's going to be the title of the show. How to take your side hustle to Tinder. Oh, my God. But thanks, guys, for listening to the show and putting up with us. Every month, we're probably going to do a show with all three hosts and just kind of have fun with it and shoot the shit about what we've done over the course of a month.
Yeah. A lot happens.
Exactly.
I love it. Thank you guys for listening and stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Mm-hmm. Stay safe, guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. You can also find us on Instagram at The Project Kuwait. Thank you, and join us next time.